know what she said, she might just change your life.
Your claim to fame is that you do not believe in having a plan B.
Indeed. If it's something that I really want, if it's a very strong vision, I make sure that I do put in place a proper plan and steps how I'm going to reach that particular vision or goal that I have. And literally, I'm not going to give up until I succeed. If I'm going to go for the plan B, for me it means that I'm going for the second best.
Well, Anderson Cooper said that last week. He had, he saying that he has never subscribed to having a plan B. So this must have rung really, was pleasant music to your ears, right?
I was very actually happy to hear that Rania Walker mentioned to me about that, and I didn't know that this is how he guides his life over with. Myself, many years back, I'm going to tell you a short story. Many years back when I was working for Celebrity Cruises Royal Caribbean International, actually I wanted to become the loyalty ambassador, which was at the time to be in charge of the loyal guests and VIPs of the company. So you would organize all sorts of events and so on. Most of the time you would have for this position people that are from England, Canada, United States. Their first language was English. And for me, that I was coming from Romania, was like everybody was saying, oh no, you're not going to make it. It's only one position on every single ship. Literally, there's minimum chances for you to reach that position. And you know what? I really wanted that. And I did everything possible. I contacted the office like I think 3 months in a row just to make sure that they review my resume. And they offered me 2 different positions. It was I think Shore Excursion Department, another one was IT, so not bad at all. But I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm really waiting for the position that I'm really dreaming of, right? There was a moment, I have to say to both of you, there was a moment when I had fear, right? I was like, oh, what if I'm not going to get that position and I lost the other 2? So there comes a moment of fear. But you know what? I overcome that, and I believed in myself. I believed in what I wanted, and I went for it, and I got it.
Well, there was a lot of criticism when Anderson Cooper said that, because people said, well, you're a pretty privileged guy. There are people who are pretty privileged, and there are other people in the world who just may not have that option, but you don't believe that.
Not at all. And you know what? I actually read the story of Anderson Cooper. I was interested. I didn't know exactly much about it, but I read, and you know what? He worked for everything very hard. So in order to reach where he is today, it didn't come because he was rich or the family. He really did work hard.
He got fired off his first job as the morning anchor because he was really bad at it. Yeah. And then he started doing the jobs that nobody else would do.
Indeed.
I mean, and then they sent him to Afghanistan without a cameraman, so you can tell him how highly they thought him. So he was doing his own stuff, and that's how he really, worked his way up. But he literally took all the jobs. But a fallback plan. I have a daughter who's an actress, and I wish her all the best of luck with that. But I say you need to get your university degree because you need to have a fallback. You need to be able to do something. So does that count as a plan B or not?
You know what? That counts for me as a plan A as well. Because I graduated from University of Economics as well, and I continued my studies even when I came to Canada. I wanted to be better and better at what I'm doing, so I went to University of Toronto, continued a few of my studies. So that is personal development that you need to constantly have and constantly do. We are learning every single day. And that's a part of the process. In order to be successful, you need to keep on learning, keep on developing yourself and your skills and your abilities. That's the way to go for reaching success. So I don't think the university represents, or studies do represent a plan B. No, that is a part of your plan A. I think that is a part of the big goal of being successful in your life.
Well, that's part of your plan of being successful, but what are some of the other keys to success?
Hey, good point. In order to be successful, I really think that, again, I'm coming to knowledge, which is really important. You need to believe in yourself, be resilient, positive energy constantly, because you will have a lot of challenges along the way. You just must not give up. Believe in yourself. And nobody else will. You know, there are moments when you have to prove yourself and to the others that you can do it. So I really think that another step for success is to network, be social.
Well, that's the name of your company, isn't it? Be Social Events?
It is, and that's another interesting story right there. But being social is a part of success, is the key to gain success both personally and professionally. This is what I believe in.
Well, would you call networking being social? I mean, it's business social.
Absolutely. Business social, but even when you, let's say, go out for a coffee, I call that social, not necessarily networking for business. But you never know who you might meet. You never know who might be next to you and can change your life in the next 5 minutes. So you just have to be open, to the possibilities that are out there. And there's one thing that I'd like to mention to our listeners. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs, and sometimes they do become a little bit disappointed, let's say, if they go to a networking event and they see that they didn't leave with a client. But I always say, go to a networking event open. Right? Open to knowledge, open to meeting new people, new opportunities. See what you can learn from every single event.
We are talking with Daniela Spirlac, who is the Managing Director of Women Network in the Toronto chapter, and also her company is Be Social. And you said you had a story about that, so we want our listeners here at What She Said on SiriusXM 167 to hear that story. How did you pick the name?
Wow. Actually, I was being social for many years, okay? But when I came to Canada, and probably this is a story of many other immigrants out there, it was quite a lonely moment. I came with 2 suitcases, no friends, no family, just having a vision again of a better life. So about a year it took me to really find my way. I was just working, sleeping, eating, working, sleeping, eating, which that's not really myself. I was surrounded by at least 3,000 people every single day, working for the second largest cruise ship company in the world, right? So it was a need that I had to be social. I just didn't know that this is the way to go. And I met a wonderful person, Minerva. I really want to thank her for that. She changed my life in 5 minutes because she took, although she was very busy, she took that 5 minutes to just introduce me to some people. And those people took me to networking events in Toronto. I went to all these chambers of commerces, consular corps events, and so on. And I saw a new face to Toronto, very vibrant, a lot of positive energy. I increased my network. I made new friends, and friends that I can actually count on.
Hello there, I'm Christine Bentley in studio with Kate Wheeler, and joining us is Daniela Spirlac, the Managing Director of Women Network, the Toronto chapter. And we're going to try and figure out, how did you join the Women Network? What prompted you to do that?
Well, this is another part of being social and doing a lot of networking. I used to go to about 4 to 5 networking events a week. Okay.
Wow.
So being very active. And when I went to see a venue, I met the sales manager of Cosmopolitan Hotels Pantages downtown Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to me, Daniela, come to this evening event. It's the CEO of eWomen Network, Sandra Yance. I said, who? I haven't heard of her until that moment. I felt a little bit embarrassed, but I said, I'm just a little bit exhausted. I've been to so many events this week. And she said, oh, Daniela, no, you have to come. And if you haven't heard of eWomen Network, that means you haven't done enough networking. And I was like, are you serious? I'm doing so much already. But you know what? I loved her. I loved her personality. And I went. I left, everything aside, knowing that I felt tired, that, I just wanted to reach home. I said, you know what? I should go. And I'm happy I went because, again, it changed my life.
Well, I'm going to your event tomorrow. Christine, unfortunately, can't come because she is a Habitat for Humanity Build ambassador.
Women Build ambassador.
Women Build
and
ambassador.
they're launching because we're going to be building in September. So I have to go and, it's a passion of mine.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am going to represent what she said. So the onus is on me to do all the networking, and I'm just not as good as Christine. Her nickname's Chatty Cathy, so.
I love it.
So then,
I chat to people in the subway if I can. I mean, anybody.
Me too.
Anybody.
Me too.
I you would think, because, as my family will tell you, I hardly ever shut up, that I would be good at it, but I'm very nervous. So what are your tips about, going up to somebody and approaching them and doing your best to elevate or pitch about what you do? How do you get that conversation going?
I'd like to say that I'm practicing my elevating pitch, but I don't. I want to be just natural. Mm-hmm. So I love people. Mm-hmm. And I want to be always surrounded by people. And I just go there by being myself, Daniela, natural, letting it go that I'm there to create, business opportunities. I'm just there to meet people. I'm interested to know who they are, what they do, how I can support them along the way. So just to start a conversation,
But I'm shy. I know people. I'm actually shy. I
Right.
hate going to group events. I hate going to parties. I don't enjoy that. I like talking to people and interviewing them. Obviously, I've been doing that my whole life, and that's my. But to go up to somebody I have never met before, and cold call them or just talk to them is just a nightmare for me. So
Well, I think people
because
are
you
divided.
think of it too much,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think people are divided into two groups. My favorite social event or social would be a group of close friends. Mm-hmm. So, a one-on-one conversation, going a little bit past, hi, how are you, what do you do, how many kids do you have? But I am able to transition into that mode of going into a large group. But some people are really uncomfortable with that, no matter how much confidence they have.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think? It's something that you can practice.
Okay, so that's what we need to know, is how do we practice that?
I really think that.
well, you don't. I do.
I will tell you, I was the same. I wanted to let you know that I was absolutely the same. I was very shy many years back. So with the time passed, Celebrity Cruises Royal Caribbean International offered me so many opportunities for development, and that's how I grow, actually, being surrounded by people. And I just started to be me. And what I realized is, if I don't go to networking events for a period of say, a few months, then I can see the difference. I'm a little bit shy. It's hard to approach people. And what I really think it's important is just to do it over and over again, and it's going to become natural.
Well, these tips, I think, while we're talking about women who are networking for business, this would be applicable to a mom who's afraid to go to the group at school, mm-hmm. or joining a gym and talking to people, because it's much more fun working out if you kind of have a group there. It really applies to all areas of life.
Absolutely.
But how do you get past that initial sort of,
Okay, so I'm going to walk in there tomorrow. I'm going to
Yeah.
walk in there tomorrow, and I'm
What
going
does
to
she
walk
do?
up to you. What do I do?
Well, what I'm going to do, I would introduce you to some
Yes,
people.
you see, I got help already. It worked.
I'm going to introduce you to some people, and you're going to feel fantastic. You
see
don't
how
need to-
sneaky she is? She's going to an event, so we get the
Effective,
head,
Christine,
the
effective.
head of the event in beforehand to give her tips on how to transition into the event.
Is that why
You
we?
are
Isn't that,
sneaky.
is that not why we have a show?
That's right.
You know what? Can you believe that Sandra Yancey, the CEO of Be Women Network, was very shy and
Yes,
didn't
I
feel
can.
comfortable with that?
People think that they say to me, "It's ridiculous that you're shy. You're not shy." I would honestly always rather stay home with a really good book than go out to an event. Always.
And do you know that Barbara Streisand, she's very shy and she cannot sing, let's say, at home for a group of friends?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know that.
Really?
I met one of her neighbors.
Really?
Yes, and we don't know this. She has a fantastic voice. You can see her all the time, let's say on stage or radio. But when she is in a small group, she doesn't want to sing.
Well, I don't know. I'm not shy.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. You know, I don't have to be out there all the time. I do like to stay home with a good book, but when I'm out, I'm not shy.
Yeah. Again, I really believe that it's gonna come. You just need to go.
So you can unlearn that.
You can. You have to actually practice
Yes, but
everything you do in life, and networking is the same thing.
okay. So networking, but do you get to a point where, let's say, for 6 months you've been going to 3 events a week?
Oh,
do you
God.
eventually get over it? No, we'll get you
Yes.
we'll get you out of Van, don't worry. But do you eventually get over it where it's like, okay, I'm over this now, I've learned this?
I think so. I'm very confident that you will. Absolutely.
So tell us about tomorrow night. A little bit about tomorrow night, and this because Sandra Yancey is going to be there, right?
Indeed, Sandra Yancey will be there, and she will be sharing few tips, and she's going to share her knowledge, what is really important for all of us entrepreneurs and business professionals, on how she was able to breach from bankruptcy to multi-million-dollar business that she is today. I really believe that we all have to surround ourselves with successful people and learn from them as much as we can. And this is a great opportunity for everybody. She's very bright, vibrant, positive energy. Last year in May, when I heard her for first time, I was hooked. I loved her immediately, and I said, you know what, I want to be part of this. And I became a member right there and then.
Well, we actually had her on the show, and we interviewed her, and you can hear that interview on SoundCloud when our website goes back up, which is almost soon. I have to approve it tomorrow. I'm so excited. But yeah, so that's, I mean, she's very inspiring, and we really enjoyed talking with her.
Yeah.
Now, does your company plan networking events for other organizations?
Yes, Be Social Event Management. It's customizing events according to customers' needs. So what we do is we try to understand who are you as a client or guest or customer, individual, corporation. We want to know who are your clients, what do you want to achieve through that event, and then we customize it in such a way that everybody to have a memorable experience. This is what I learned from Celebrity Cruises.
Oh, but it's all based on the platform of networking is key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the key for gaining success. Once again, I can't stress that enough.
And how do you know if you're at a networking event and you're meeting lots of people? How do you know when people are just being polite or when you should actually pursue a lead? You know, because people are, you know, they're pleasant.
And when do you ask for the card? When do you ask for the contact info?
And when do you shove, I mean, do you chase them with your card and shove it down? Into their pocket?
I love it. I'm talking. Do you know, Okay, we are talking about a lot of things here.
No, we're just talking about getting a card in their hand. It's simple.
I really think that what I do, if I'm interested in a particular person and I'd like to have another appointment for us to discover each other more and maybe to have an opportunity for collaboration or partnership, I immediately pass on my business card. So this is I don't need to think too much about that. It's you know, and I have nothing to lose really by passing on my business card.
You're right.
So
You're right.
You know, don't think too much over it, and just be open. Again, be open to opportunities. Very important. I believe in quality and not quantity. And eWomen Network is the same. That's why I identified myself immediately with their vision and their goal. You will see when you will come to our event that we're not about building a list.
Yeah. A list of hundreds of which, you know.
We are about building quality contacts that you can share, that we will provide you a business card only if we can help you, providing you a lead, providing you maybe a customer, or if we know somebody that can support you on the way. We don't just pass the business cards just because. Only if we can help.
Because there are a growing number of these groups out there, and it's very hard to determine which ones are best for what you do to connect with.
Right. And may I say here something, why I chose eWomen Network? Because, first of all, yes, I met Sandra Yancey, and she's fantastic, and I believed in her right away. But I wanted you to know that why I really think it's amazing, eWomen, is because it's an international audience that you have, you know,
Access to,
exactly, is the gateway to 118 chapters all over US and Canada. And if you are someone that would like to think big, you want to be part of a bigger game, you need to be part of an international organization. So.
And why is it that women need this? And men, I don't see men's networks the same way.
But they are welcome to our network.
No.
Really? You have men in the network? It's not just for women?
Indeed. I welcome men, and we all do. There are chapters in United States and even Canada that men are eWomen Network members.
Really? So they're realizing
they're
that women...
smart, yeah.
They're smart.
Yeah.
And let me tell you that normally when they join these chapters, everybody loves them.
Of course.
Rare species.
All right, Daniela Spirlac, tell people how they can connect with you if they want an event manager to help them. Where do they find you?
So they can go on the www.besocialevents.ca, or they can reach me through ewomennetwork.com, the Toronto chapter page. I'm there with my information as a managing director. And of course, anytime they can contact the radio, What She Said, and please feel free to pass them on my details.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
Click the channel subscribe button for full-length interviews and more from What She Said here on YouTube.